Hello, hello, creatives. Welcome back to True Creativity Within, the podcast. This episode is part 2 of the 6 ways to de-stress and regulate your nervous system using your creativity. So in the last episode, I went over the first 3 out of the 6, and just to recap, the first one was that creativity soothes your nervous system. Doing something creative calms your nervous system down. Number 2, it quiets the busy mind. Remember that overthinking mind, the human brain mind that wants to figure everything out? Creativity quiets the mind. And then number 3, creativity invites flow. So I went over those first 3, and if you want to check that out, go to episode 30 and you can rewatch those. And then this episode, I'm going to go over the next 3 out of the 6. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that some of the things that I teach is coming from personal experience. So everything I teach, I practice, I've tested, and have done for myself over and over and over, so I know this stuff works. And that's why I feel so passionate about the creativity, because, I think that it's something that I just instinctually did as a kid, and then throughout different situations in my life, when I was going through some major change, major stressor, I always just went to creativity, and it was just an instinct. So I know this stuff works, and that's one of the reasons why I want to share this, because this is something that I have done, and I know there's many of you out there who have also instinctually used creativity during stressful and challenging moments in your life. So that's why I want to go over some of this stuff, because I know that it works for me. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what happens when you keep doing it over and over and over, relying on creativity as a resource of support and a way to de-stress. Okay, so let's dive into number 4. Number 4, creativity gives our emotions a safe outlet. So one of the things about what happens when we're stressed, right? We're not only worried, anxious, and overwhelmed, but the intensity of emotions kind of get heightened. So in other words, we get more irritable with others, we're more frustrated, we're more prone to get angry quicker, right? I know I've been there. So our emotions are at a high level. And sometimes what happens is we automatically start to, because we're stressed and more vulnerable, we then label that how we feel or what emotions that we're experiencing during these stressful times. We start to label them as bad, or we get shameful around it. We feel shame that we are feeling such intense emotions, or we lost our cool, or are more irritated with our kids or our family. We start to judge ourselves, right? Why can't I just hold it all together? Why can't I just be more balanced and more grounded? Well, stress does that to us. Stress will do that to you. And number 1, emotions are there for a reason. Sometimes emotions are there to give us signals that we need to take care of ourselves, and signals that, you know what, I've been under a lot of stress for a long period of time. These emotions, my irritability, frustration, all of that are signals and even guidance to telling us, I need to take a break. I need to take care of myself. I need to find a way to lessen this stress right now. So sometimes what happens is that when we're in a stressful situation, we can't immediately change our situation overnight so that we have less stress. It is more about how we manage it, and more about how we have pockets of calm and pockets of taking a break, right? Taking a breath, meditating, maybe taking a walk. So getting back to emotions, creativity gives us a safe outlet. So now when we're creating, we have, not only are we letting ourselves connect a little bit deeper to our spirit, our soul, creative spirit, but it now gives us a safe space to diffuse the intensity of the emotion and also to now help us digest. Okay, I had an emotional reaction because of, and then we can kind of start to process what happened and where those emotions are coming from. Because it's overwhelming sometimes. Whatever you're going through, it can be overwhelming and stressful, and we need time to process those emotions. Now, oftentimes what we'll do is we'll just sort of spill it all out in therapy and get it all out with a friend, or we start venting those emotions. And sometimes with a trusted friend who is there to support, it's great. They can support you, and it diffuses the energy around those intense emotions. But there are often times when we need a little extra something to help us process them, and that is what creativity can do for us. So remember that. That's really important. Also, one of the things that I think creativity can do is that sometimes when we're overwhelmed and stressed, all that emotion gets stuck inside of us. It feels trapped, and we need a way to get it out, right? And that is what creativity is there for. One of the things that I teach in some of my classes is art your emotions, and it's a way to get that emotion out on paper, whether it's a collage, a watercolor, or a painting, or writing, whatever it is, whatever creative medium that you're doing. Dancing is really great, or singing. It's arting your emotions so that you can better get them out of your system, out of your brain, your body, your nervous system, getting it out and externalizing it, because then it's a little bit easier to process and deal with. And then also we get clarity around what we're feeling, which is so important. And one of the things too is that creativity can also, when we're processing those emotions, it's because we're being present. It's because we're becoming more present in the moment, which brings me to number 5. Creativity returns us to present. So to the present. So it's so important, because oftentimes when we're stressed, we are worried about the future, or we are worried about what's the next thing we got to make a decision on, what's the next thing I have to accomplish or check off my list. So we're sort of focused on the future, and we're not fully present. And sometimes being present is what we need to ground us and bring us clarity around our situation. So creativity cultivates presence. When we're creating, we're focused on what's in front of us, means we're focused on the present moment, and it's you just can't help it. When you're creating something, whether you're collaging or you're doodling, you become present. And that's so crucial to helping you move from worried and anxious about what's going to happen to just being able to just deal with what's in front of you. So I love that is an important thing, because creativity brings us to presence, and it also grounds us and brings us back to center. So number 6, this is perfect because it kind of brings it all together. Creativity becomes a ritual of calm. So remember, at the beginning of this episode, I talked about this is the kind of stuff that I've been practicing. It's tested. I know it works. Well, one of the things that I know for sure is that I've done it so often now and instinctually that when I am stressed and I go to creativity, my brain automatically goes right into calm, presence, and centered, so much faster than it used to. And the reason why is because I believe that when we do these art practices over and over again to create calm, presence and well-being for our mental health. We are rewiring our brain. We are, creating more neurological pathways. That way our mind, body, spirit automatically responds when we start doing something creative. So I believe that it's almost like a mental ritual, that when we do it over and over again, we are conditioning our mind to say, okay, yeah, I might be stressed, I might be emotionally flooded or intensed, but as soon as I go into that creative mode, body starts to calm down, breathing slows down, it comes natural. So that's one of the things that I wanted to really bring up, is that I know this works because I know how my body, mind, and spirit automatically just responds to it. And I hope that that is something that you can get to also if you keep practicing it over and over. The art practice, whichever art practice that you adopt for yourself, whether that's doodling, art journaling, watercolor, mingling, collaging, whatever art practice or creative practice that you're used to doing that's can help you calm down, bring some peace into your stressful situation. So that's one of the reasons why I always encourage my students to keep practicing those art practices over and over again. And the bottom line here is, when you do these things over and over again, you build a sense of resilience. And resilience is not that I'm tough, I don't feel stress, I never get emotionally irritated or frustrated. No, it's not about, minimizing or getting rid of those human responses. Resilience is about the fact that, wow, okay, I have this tool, I know that it works, I have the confidence and trust now. The next time I'm going through some challenging situation or stressful situation, I know what I need to do to get back to center, to get back to presence, to back to calm. So those are the 6 ways that creativity can de-stress you and bring more calm and regulate your nervous system. I hope that they were helpful for you, so that you can think a little differently about how you respond to stress, and if you are experiencing stress, that you can rely on a tool to help get you through on the other side and to help better manage it. So having gone all through that, I would invite you to join my Creative Calm Within 4-week journey. It is going to show you different art practices to help you can implement during a stressful situation, that you can implement when you need calm or more peace in your life. And the course goes for 4 weeks. It's a combination of both live and pre-recorded episodes so that you can work it out with your schedule. And I also like that live component so that I can connect with all of you during our time together, during our 4 weeks together. And also the course involves guided meditations. It involves art practices, self-reflection exercises to help you think a little bit more deeply and understand your own self when it comes to stress, and a lot of other stuff helpful in terms of helping you utilize art making, your art practice, creativity as a way to de-stress, as a way to better manage your stress. Because I think, like I mentioned in the last episode, we have a lot of other modalities. We have the yoga, we have the meditation, we have mindfulness meditation. We have, the idea of I have to get enough sleep, I have to take a walk, I need to spend time in nature. We know all that, but I think one of the things that has been overlooked is having a creative practice and the power that that brings to all of us in terms of helping us maintain better mental health, well-being, and more peace and calm in our life. So check that out. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. You can go to truecreativitywithin.com and get all the information about that 4-week course. It starts October 25th, so that's a few weeks. And I hope that you will join, because I'm excited about this, because I think that it just adds another component to, you probably already have what I call a survival kit for your stressful, challenging situations, but this is just another modality that you can add to your survival kit. So check that out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing and following my podcast. I hope you enjoyed these last two episodes, and I hope that you will consider checking out my new program. And until next time, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.